Welcome back. Welcome back, Megs.
Part 3.
In episodes 1 and 2, we watched the world mistake Britney's grief for instability and confuse her exhaustion with weakness. And now we've reached the moment where misunderstanding transforms into something far more dangerous.
Yeah.
This is where control enters the story, not as protection, but as a system. And once that system is in place, everything about Britney's life changes, her whole life, for survival.
So how the conservatorship began and why Jamie matters here. So here's the paradox the tabloids never explain. Britney was considered too unstable to control her own life, but stable enough to generate hundreds of millions of dollars. The person placed in charge wasn't a neutral caretaker. It was her father, Jamie, someone she remembers as a volatile, often gone, and quick to criticize parent. The instability she knew as a child didn't disappear when she became famous. It just put on a suit and got paperwork. Yeah. And then comes the part that lands with a thud once you know about the family history. Long before Britney was born, Jamie watched his own mother, Jean, be institutionalized, heavily medicated, and stripped of autonomy after losing her infant son. She died by suicide at his grave. Britney never met her grandmother, but Jamie lived through all of that. That's what makes what happens next so haunting. Britney is crystal clear about this. This wasn't something she asked for. It was something filed for her in her name. When the conservatorship happened, everything became controlled. My whole life changed. What began as a temporary measure hardened with Jamie at the center of every decision. This wasn't protection. It was a family history of control reenacted with legal authority. She did not want him at the helm of that.
Life under control. What was actually restricted? Britney dismantles the biggest myth immediately. A lot of people said, "Oh, your life was saved." But no, not really. What she describes isn't safety, it's erasure. Here's what she says was restricted. She was put on lithium, which made her feel, quote unquote, in Britney's words, drunk and unable to converse. She wasn't allowed to drive. She couldn't control her schedule. Her phone and communications were monitored. Security watched her constantly, even during recording sessions. She could not hire her own lawyer. She wasn't allowed to remove her IUD despite repeatedly asking to do so. And Jamie enforced it. He wasn't simply managing logistics. He wielded authority.
When all of this happened and she gets put under the conservatorship,
right?
He brings back a lot of the old team, quote unquote, but like kind of at an arm's length. Like her old manager Larry is brought back in,
right?
Like Fee is brought back in, but at arm's length,
right?
And there's like old collaborators like Max Martin and Joseph Kahn, and like these people that are familiar to her, but the relationships are different now because she's not calling the shots,
right?
And that's important to know.
Wouldn't they like say like a Iggy Azalea 2 or something when she did a
yeah.
Like they
much later.
Yeah, they gave them restrictions.
Oh, and then during this time, she signs with a new business management team called TriStar Entertainment.
Yeah, that's
and
Lou.
She brings up that. She says that who at the helm of it was Louise Taylor. So she does, and she mentions Robin too.
And Robin too, she does.
She doesn't give a whole lot of detail about them, but she does mention them.
Yeah, Robin always had to be with her. Or
Robin
like
Greenhill, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's important to note.
And Jamie reinforced that he wasn't simply, Britney quotes him saying this, "You have to do everything I tell you. I'm Britney Spears now." And it wasn't a metaphor. They were the operating rules of the conservatorship.
The I'm Britney Spears now is so chilling.
No, you're not, Jamie.
But like, what is she supposed to do? Her kids are getting dangled in front of her like carrots. That's what it is. She did this so she could see her children.
Poor thing.
I mean, she kind of knew it was going to happen, but then she tried to get her own lawyer. No. Tried to ask for somebody else, anybody else to be at the helm of it. No.
And it's her money.
That's not anymore. Or it wasn't then. And I don't know
how somebody can say no to me and it's my money.
And it was an interesting time because she was spending time with people who are not good people and took advantage of her in a different way.
Yes.
And what's so upsetting is her family had every opportunity to do the right thing and get her away from those bad people.
I think I know who you're talking about.
But they had every opportunity to just help her get back on her feet. And it's not what it became. Look what it became. And that is what's so disappointing and sad and fucked up is like they had every opportunity to rehabilitate her into being on her own again and making good choices and whatever.
Wow.
And do you mention For the Record in here at all?
No. Why don't you?
I'll quickly say something about that. Basically, For the Record was an MTV documentary.
Yes.
That they put out. They filmed it at like towards the end of 2008 of her recording, whatever. I highly suggest watching it.
That's what I was about to say. You said
is
it's scrub.
Very hard. I own it on DVD.
So people can go to Meg's house and watch it on
come
DVD.
over and watch it with me. There is like one place on the internet that exists and like a weird whatever that you can go watch it in, but I highly recommend watching it. It's a great I want to read how I described it because that's exactly how I felt when I was reading it. And it's an hour special.
What does it show her doing? Is she on a video set?
She's being interviewed and she's really candidly speaking about what's going on.
Okay.
And this is like the only time that we ever hear her talk about this. It showcases a lot of like what she goes through on a daily basis.
Right.
And so they released it at the end of 2008. And it's one of the only times she speaks about being under the conservatorship. And I'm honestly shocked that her team allowed for it. And I wanted to say, like, it's a combination of what they wanted you to see and what they didn't know they were showing you. Yeah. This is early conservatorship. She's probably thinking it's gonna end.
Right. We all
And
did.
maybe they did too. This is before she goes on tour.
Right.
It's really interesting to watch. It shows family dynamics. Her dad's in it. Her mom's in it.
Wow.
I don't know if her siblings are in it, but like her father's in it. He's at the helm of it. Her babies are in it.
Yeah.
It is.
Didn't you say she talks back to him a little bit?
Oh, she's funny in it.
Oh, that's fine.
Like, that's what I love that it captures. Like, and there are several important scenes in it.
Okay.
And the one that always sticks out to me is like when she's dancing.
Okay.
And she goes into how dance is therapy to her. And she talks about that.
Okay.
It's spiritual, just as like music is for her.
Nice.
And I see the light in her eyes return when she dances. Her smile, like that real Britney laugh. Like, and rewatching it just made me sad. Because it just makes you wonder what her life would have been like had this only been temporary.
Right.
She was still Britney in this.
And if they worked with her, you know.
Yeah, like anyways, I highly recommend it. It's just a little tidbit in there. I just wanted to say, like, they didn't know what they were showing you.
Yeah. I wonder, didn't she get like a little snarky with him a little bit?
She was making fun of him. There's a scene in there where she's texting.
Yeah.
She's texting on her phone and she's being filmed, and then her dad goes, "Let me hold that phone for you." And she goes, "Daddy, no." And like she like kind of like, and then he's like swearing at her or like walks off or whatever. And then she like makes fun of him. She goes, "This is my dad." And she starts making fun of him and starts talking like him. And then
Doesn't he come up?
he's watching it. And there are moments where like she's doing the circus shoot for her album cover. And he's crying because she looks beautiful. So they're trying to show moments of him like being a doting father.
Yes.
Fascinating watch. I highly recommend it. I remember watching it when it debuted. It came out my freshman year of college.
Yeah.
And I remember going home.
What did you think?
I cried when I watched it.
Oh, cried for happiness or like a little
It just moved me in the sense of like, this is someone that I have grown up with in a sense, and I care about, and I want to be happy.
Right.
And there's really no resolution at the end of it.
Right.
But you have her hope in it.
What does she hope?
And she has her humor. And like one of the last questions in it is so sweet. Like the interviewer, he asks her like, "Okay, well, like, what do you do to cope?" He asks questions similar to that. And she just looks at him. It's like a serious question. She goes, "I go through life like a karate kid." She just, and then she starts laughing. Like it's her.
Yeah, because soon after that, the light just completely got extinguished. The fire was
Makes me
extinguished.
sad. But I want to just say that's very early conservatorship before we get into all of what we're about to dive into,
which is the restrictions. Had the restrictions come in?
Oh yeah, like they're in this. There's a scene in it where they're like, "Brittany, we have a surprise for you," and she's like, "Okay," and they like drive her out to like the middle of nowhere, and they let her drive her car. She goes, "Is that my car?" And they let her drive her car. I'm like, and I remember thinking at like 18 or however old I was, I was like, they let her drive her car. That's the surprise. But like, again, they didn't know what they were showing you.
Right.
And it's important.
Right.
Because all the signs were there and we just didn't know.
Right. How far that thing was going to go.
Yeah.
I mean, even these restrictions that I just read off are like ridiculous.
I think those got worse as time went on.
It wasn't initially this.
She was not put on lithium right away. No.
Right.
She couldn't drive. Anyways, just wanted to touch on that.
Thank you.
Okay, so pushed her, immediately got her working. Immediately. So that's how they measured like sanity, quote unquote. And so the public would interpret it that way.
Yeah. Because they were always seeing her. We thought she's fine.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. What's chilling is some of the Britney's.
And I'm sorry to interrupt. No. By the way, this made the public think her team was right to do what they did.
Yeah.
If you think about it, like look at her there.
That's before Onyx Hotel tour.
Yeah, that's before the Onyx. That's before the Conservatorship.
I do like this dance number. It's fun.
But in making her, be seen, be on Ellen, be on this, be on that,
Yeah.
X Factor, whatever.
Whatever. Oh, I'm fine. Everything's fine. Mm-hmm. That's what they were trying to show.
We were right. See, we were right to
like,
do
look, we have her doing this.
Yes.
Like, it's...
She's fine.
But that's... Anyways.
I know.
So what's chilling is that some of Britney's biggest commercial successes happened inside the conservatorship. Circus debuted at number 1. Femme Fatale went number 1. 3, that single, that in 2009, that went number 1. She toured. She sold out arenas. But watching her during this era, something fell off. The music hit. Well, almost all the music hit. But we'll get to that. But her body didn't feel like it was hers anymore. Like, it's always in her eyes. I can tell you.
She's dead.
It's in her eyes. That woman, when she is on fire, she is zoned in. And it's in her eyes, and you can tell.
Right.
It's all in her eyes. And I noticed that when Femme Fatale came out. We'll get into all of that. But that's when the conservatorship,
Right.
that's when I noticed it begin.
Oh,
I will say.
poor thing.
So, and her voice too. Like, during the conservatorship, Britney wasn't sidelined. She was working constantly. She was recording and touring and headlining a Las Vegas show called Piece of Me. The residency alone brought in more than $100 million. And yet, she writes, when she tried to take her team out to dinner, her dance team, as a thank you, her card was declined. She goes, I didn't have enough money in my allowance account. Which is insane.
Even though I'm making $100 million for someone.
That's insane. And it just reveals the framework. If she worked, she was considered fine. If she resisted, she was punished. Wellness wasn't the goal, compliance was. And here, the contradiction the system never answers for. While Britney was deemed incapable of making basic decisions, she was simultaneously trusted to generate enormous profit. Productivity became proof of wellness. Resistance became pathology.
What happened when she said no and the Las Vegas incident?
Yes.
The most severe punishment she describes in the memoir didn't follow a crisis, it followed a boundary. In 2018, Britney refused a new Las Vegas residency. Not a breakdown, and she wanted a break. She said she needed a break.
Yes.
And not a breakdown, she just said a no, and the system closed in on her. She was taken to a facility against her will, rehab-like, quote-unquote, but not chosen. She said, I felt I was in a cult, she writes, and my father was a cult leader. And Britney is clear about something that doesn't get said enough. Her children were used as leverage. Again, compliance was framed as being a good mother, and every time she tried to push back, the access was denied or tightened, whichever one you want to look at.
Yeah. And then, so an internal break and the first external crack inside that facility that Britney was committed to. This is right after she refused to do domination. That was the new residency they tried to get her to do literally, 2 months after the last one ended. Like, just insanity. So this is the beginning of 2019. She goes to this facility and she's medicated heavily. Everything she does is monitored and she's stripped of autonomy. Like, something shifts in her. She's punished.
Right.
Like, for not wanting to do a dance move, and they blamed it on, she said it was the over-the-counter energy supplements she had been taking during her tour that her doctor knew about and didn't care. You need to go to rehab. So that's what they did.
Horrible.
And yeah, she's realized she can do everything right and still never be free. So
Wow.
yeah, she also begins to feel that situations weren't just spiraling, they were being shaped. Then a staff member quietly tells her at one point, like, hey, take a look at this. People are talking about you. Like, there's something called #FreeBritney. And she shows it to her, and Britney doesn't fully understand it at first. Then she understands people believe her.
Yeah.
They see her. She isn't just imagining this. Like, this is the first crack that hit the wall. Her fans are like, where is Britney Spears?
Yes, that's true. That is true.
I remember that.
Yes. And then it became a thing online,
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Big time. Years of trying to be heard and being shut down. Britney makes it painfully clear in the memoir. She didn't stay silent for 13 years. She tried. She requested new lawyers. She raised concerns about Jamie. She asked for more autonomy. She went to court as early as 2014. But under the conservatorship, she couldn't simply fire an attorney or demand a hearing. Every request had to be approved by the people controlling her. Doors didn't slam. They quietly closed, legally and completely. This is where every everything converges. The custody pressure, the media scrutiny, and family authority collapsing into one moment. Britney says felt orchestrated, not protected. And I just feel like she was almost at her breaking point.
Oh, yeah. And the catalyst for what I'm about to get into, like when she does the courtroom, public hearing, and after she reports her dad, the catalyst for that was so she gets out of that facility, and then later that year, her dad, Jamie, gets in a fight with her eldest son, and Kevin gets a restraining order against Jamie. So then guess what? Britney's custody affects that because she's got reduced custody because of her dad.
Oh, God.
And you know what? She was like, okay,
that's it.
This is my moment.
It's about her
I'm going to try one more time to get out of this thing.
Wow.
And so the long game of her trying to figure out what to do to get out begins.
Right.
And then that all snowballs to 2021. This is June of 21.
Okay.
And she finally calls and reports her dad for conservatorship abuse.
Wow.
And
I wonder how she was able to do it if they monitored everything. Maybe they weren't paying attention.
She doesn't really say, so I'm not sure. But she was able to do it. I mean, maybe it already happened. And
Somebody might have helped her.
Maybe someone did, or she did it and it had already been done, right? So even if they monitored it and saw that she made a call to whoever, what are they going to do about it? She made the call. You know what I mean?
To 911.
Or whatever. So after that, they end up setting a hearing, and she addresses the court, and she wanted it public because they tried to be a closed court thing, and they were like, oh, whatever. She goes, no, I want it to be public.
Yeah.
And that was so brave of her. I'm very glad she did that.
I am too.
And she went off. Now, her voice has changed over the years.
Yes.
But when she's mad, that southern accent jumps out.
Yeah, she said something
was
like,
pissed.
I'm so mad I don't know what to do with myself.
Oh, yeah.
She said.
She's like, I'm so angry. It's insane.
Yeah.
She has so much rage in her.
Wow.
And yeah, she goes off.
Understandably
And she's speaking so fast because she's like, this is my moment. I'm about to say everything I need to say.
And she had written it down, you can tell.
She did. And she did a great job. I was so proud of her.
Yeah.
And she was terrified, but, wanted to get this out. And then, the line that she says in it is, I just want my life back. And that sentence wasn't strategy. She's finally being heard.
Right.
That's what it is.
And I think she was at her end. She was exhausted, and she finally needed to be heard. But
well, yeah, and it didn't stop right away that day, but it was the beginning of her being set free.
Yeah.
And she was able to hire a new attorney, Matthew Rosengart, and he ultimately is what, that was in June, and by November it was done.
Well, she did say that it didn't make me free. It just stopped it from continuing, and the harm didn't end. I'm sure they tried to punish her.
Oh, no, but I mean, what had been done has already been done. It was public.
Oh, yeah.
So there's nothing they could do about that.
But yeah,
which is exactly why she was like, no, this is public.
They're not going to punish me.
Good for her.
So when you line up everything Britney describes, the surveillance, the forced medication, the punishments, the financial control, the truth became unavoidable. This wasn't protection. There was too much money to be made off of her suffering.
There's that quote again.
It was control. It was productivity disguised as care and help. And once it became the measure of sanity, the control was able to hide in plain sight, which is what we were talking about earlier. She wasn't shielded from exploitation. She was exploited legally.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
By the way, all of this is our own opinions, alleged, whatever. This is our opinions. So what's important to note is an early conservatorship filing listed her as having dementia-related limitations.
Ridiculous.
Which is insane because later on,
or at the very same time,
right? She's being called. You're put in this box. You can't do it. But yet she's performing and choreographing and touring and recording and all these things.
And you have to memorize choreography. It's not like something you just go, okay. You have to memorize.
The point is she's living and working like a worldwide giant pop star and superstar. And she's doing that still. And so the contradiction is so glaring.
In prison. She's a rock star in prison.
Well, and it's interesting. I have to say, it goes from that dementia-related limitations to the co-conservator of her estate was a man named Andrew Wallet. And he resigned when Britney was put in that facility in 2019. And no one really knew what the hell was going on, but in all of that resignation, he referred to the conservatorship as a hybrid business model. So just to show you the trajectory of that, a hybrid business model?
It's not good.
Does that sound like a conservatorship to you? Like, what?
It's ridiculous.
It blew my mind. Like, that is so far from okay.
And I think all of these were probably testers to the Free Britney movement.
Yeah. Yes, of course. And that's what all of that started getting kicked up. So, yeah, none of it added up. It was just...
And I think that's what it said about the contradiction was glaring.
That's what I said. Yeah, it was just... It was so contradictory. And this is where all of this starts to spill out more. So,
Right.
Yeah, this is what people don't really always realize is what happened to Britney Spears didn't just end with her case. After her testimony and the public scrutiny that followed, California changed its conservatorship laws. Oversight was strengthened, transparency increased. It became harder for this level of control to exist without real justification. It doesn't undo what she lost, but it confirms something important. The system didn't just fail Britney. Britney exposed the system.
That's true.
I should do this for, same with all those paparazzi laws too. A lot of those changed after 07. Yes, she was a big, she's not the only one. A lot of those starlets at the time really, and pop stars were getting, it was bad, but she was part of that.
So by the end of this chapter, what happened to Britney didn't just end a conservatorship. It exposed a system so broken that the law itself had to change. And in episode 4, we will pick up right there. And with the years, the world assumed were quiet, but were anything but and still. And this is Rockabyes. And we'll see you in episode 4.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you'd like to listen to the songs that were mentioned in the series, you can go to a curated playlist of the artist and Spotify under Rockabyes playlist. Please subscribe now. One additional note, the information in the episodes are based on my best research. I'm your host, Melissa. Always remember, you're a shining star no matter who you are.